Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jonathan, and welcome back to Money Talks, where we want to offer you financial information and meet you where you are financially so that you can stick to your budget, manage to pay off your debt, and begin to save on your path to building wealth. Today, guys, I want to talk to you about 4 myths that happen with student loans, or what you think happen with student loans. If this is your first time joining me here on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Yes, guys, so much is going on in financial, economic stress with people. And student loans this year has not really been the brunt of everyone's conversation. Why? Because they've been on pause. And there's good and bad to that. But I want to talk to you about the 4 myths that I think people get themselves trapped in their mindset, and also tactically to help you move forward and manage this beast that can sometimes feel like a weight that you can't lift. So number 1, if you're a college student, or if you've been out of college, or you know somebody going to college, help them realize you don't have to take student loans out just to go to school. See, unfortunately, I didn't have anyone around me to help guide me and give me wisdom to show me different ways of being able to pay my way through school. And even though I may have taken out student loans, and the message that was given to me was, hey, in order to get the degree, you got to get student loans. And the message from my parents and folks was, hey, do whatever it takes to get the student loans. What none of them said with that wisdom, because they valued the education and what they believed the education could do, was the end result of what having a burden of student loans, what fighting through that debt, what trying to manage that piece going forward can do. So understanding that you really need to know all your options, whether you're going to school, buying a car, whatever it is, you need to be informed that and know when it comes to money, there's always more than one way to do it. And with school and education, there's always more than one way to pay, and student loans is not that only way. The other thing I would tell you to consider when thinking about student loans, consider the degree you're getting and the how much that degree is supposed to pay you in the first couple, 1, 2, 3 years. You don't want to really exceed the amount of student loans that you're taking you don't want that amount to exceed the amount of your salary of those first 2 years. That would help you from a financial standpoint really be able to keep your debt at a manageable, much more manageable level, and something you can get rid of in those first couple of years after you get out of school, even if you do decide to take that debt. Number 2, realize what you're paying in student loans can oftentimes be altered, meaning you can control that payment. There are many different income-based repayment programs, and that helps to make things more affordable for you. Understand, even if you jump on the payment plan, or even if you take advantage of some of these programs, it doesn't mean that you're stuck in this forever. It means that this is built and put in place to help you be able to manage this debt, because that's what our economy runs off, debt. But being able to manage it so that you can get yourself in a solid position financially, and before you start to attack it, you can always pay it off early. You can always do other things to get rid of it. But sometimes when you're trying to get that budget together, when you're trying to refocus and you're at the beginning of getting that financial foundation, budgeting, kind of organize your money, you're trying to do all these things, it's important to understand, hey, what is the amount that I can pay on this item, this debt, and control it. And with student loans, you have a lot more control over your payment than you think so. By the way, you not only being a part of income-based repayment, if you work for a nonprofit, if you support a child, if you have a child, if you support some adult, all these things can factor into factors that take away from your income, which when you fill out that income-based payment program sheet, is important for you to be transparent about your situation so that you're getting the just due credit that is allowed through this system. It can be a lot more beneficial for you than you know, to give you that breathing room that you need to be able to make the next step forward. Next thing student loans can be a myth is the fact that it will stop you from buying a home. The fact of the matter is, student loans, out of all the debts, I would say is right there neck and neck with credit cards. The reason why is because you can't sell your degree. Sometimes you didn't finish the degree. And so that even makes it more worth not that good of investment. But you can't sell the degree. In credit cards, whatever you have, some stuff you can return, but oftentimes you can't return the stuff that you bought. In credit cards, typically you have a high interest rate, but student loans, it's an unsecured debt. And typically the amounts the average person gets, $35,000, that's what they have. But when I talk to my peers and when I talk to people, they're in the six-figure range, north of a house, that's unsecured. So that makes it extremely dangerous. Yeah, the interest rate's a lot lower on student loan, but you can't sell anything to return that student loan. You can't sell back your time. You can't sell back, unfortunately, what a lot of the student loan debt is a result of the lifestyle inflation of college life. So it's important that you understand that the power of this debt, but also that this debt doesn't have to be a stumbling block to your wealth building journey, but also you going into buying a home. And the reason for that is debts, especially student loans, if you're getting a conventional loan, the bank usually takes about 1%, or it takes your whatever your minimum payment is. And just like I discussed in point number 2, if your payment, sometimes people have a payment of 0, but if some people have payments that are $50, $100, $20, and they have a large student loan balance, but you can still get a home based off that. The key in that scenario is understanding that you need to be able to manage what your income is going to do, how's that going to affect your payments as you go up, and also how are you going to manage the home? So those are responsibilities you want to look at before you go down that path. It can be done. You can be approved, and you can go and manage your home, and you can go and buy a home. And the fact is, the more you can do to try to help yourself have assets that are gaining money progressively while you're trying to pay things down can make things easier. You read stories about people who delve off into real estate, who delve off into stocks, who delve off into so many different things, and they had debt. It truly is possible. The fact is, your income is not going to get you as far just that one income as you want it to. Sometimes with the assets, you need a little bit of help. But the point I want you to understand is just because you have student loan debt doesn't mean you can't buy a home. You can and you should buy a home. Only difference is you need to be a little bit more intentional, a little bit more focused on how you go about your home buying process. And you definitely need to be clear on your budget. The fourth thing I want you to think about is no matter what your student loan debt is, you can actually pay it off. It doesn't seem that way because sometimes you have a mountain ahead of you. But the funny thing about any mountain, you take one step at a time. You can make yourself have some progress. You can get ahead of this thing. Now, when you think about it, it's 6 figures worth of student loan debt, and you have a kid or you have family and you have life that's tugging at your income. You do have to get creative, and you do have to oftentimes realize, okay, what are the things I can do to try to move myself forward? Second, this may take longer than I think to actually do. And if it's gonna take more than 2-3 years for you to do, because this is personal finance, this is about you taking the steps to make your plan work for you. Maybe you can enjoy your life. Maybe it takes you a long time to get out of debt. But if you're paying off debt, if you're saving and investing and you're enjoying your life, and once you get to retirement, you still have enough in your nest egg and investments and a paid off home to get there, who cares how you got there? See, the thing is about this whole personal finance, you really do need to understand it is personal. And it is a fact that, hey, you can make this happen. It may not be cookie cutter. It would be great if you could just pay off your debt, if everybody could do that. But the fact is, everyone doesn't do that. A lot of people do, but everybody doesn't do that. It'd be great if you could have 4, 5, 10 jobs. Everybody can't do that. Everybody's life doesn't allow them to do that. And it would be great even if you could open up a business, and those are opportunities. Each one of those scenarios are opportunities available to you. But the fact is, you have to build a plan and make a choice of what you're going to do in your life. But then you also have to understand, okay, these are some things I'm not going to be able to do. These are some things that if I do, it may take me a little bit longer to pay off my debt. I'm okay with that. But If you're not okay with that, shorten that down. Then there are some things like, these are some things that I can pay off my debt, I can invest. I can enjoy my life a little bit like I want to, because unfortunately, one thing that we don't consider always is time. We don't always have all that time. I'm a big proponent that yes, Americans are living longer and things of that nature. But the fact is, what you do in your 40s, you can't travel in your 40s like you could have in your 30s. You can't play with your kids in your 50s like you could have in your 40s. You can't support people in things. It's all going to be different. Not to say you'll never do it, but it will be different. And you do give up some things with that time. So it's more understanding that, hey, what's your choices? Build your plan. You can pay off the debt, and you should pay off the debt. But sometimes maybe you pay off the debt and you invest. Maybe you enjoy life. Maybe you cut back on lifestyle a little bit, and that allows you to speed up on the debt. Maybe you're in a point where you can knock out your debt really quick. So it makes sense to go knock that debt off. But when you're looking at 100, 200,000 worth of student loan debt, you have to really sit down and get serious about what is your financial future. Because if you don't wake up and if you don't take care of it, if you don't have a plan in place, then not only do you not pay off the student loan debt, but you don't invest properly. Or if you leave that student loan debt and you're up here building investments from the ground up, all your investments eventually will have to go to the student loan debt. You don't want to fight with that all your life. It's not worth it. So it's important that you address the problem, make up a solution with all the resources that we have, and then move yourself forward. You know, guys, a lot of things can happen when you actually address the problem in your personal finance. And the big key here is, remember, it is personal. So what is your decision, what's good for you may not be good for everybody else. And that's okay, because it's personal. I would like to tell you guys right now, you can get 4 free stocks up to $1,600 if you open up a Webull account. In the description below, you can use my link. And you can get up to 4 free stocks. Now that is a true value. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And I can't wait till see you guys in the next video.